Hello, everybody, and happy Wednesday. Welcome to your daily lighting critique. Huge thanks again to Forrest and Diana for organizing the one yesterday. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out on the YouTube channel. It was a student-led, student-reviewed critique session, and it was fantastic. It was I was so excited, and I just thought it was great. I think you guys did a great job. The notes are spot on. The interaction's amazing, and the support that you guys gave throughout that process was really, really great. And like I said, I was so I had a rough day yesterday. We had a COVID exposure in my family. We were getting everybody tested, and you guys stepped up, and I couldn't tell you what a relief that was and how much for the past week and beyond we've been appreciative of this community and all of you. You guys are amazing and warm, and it's really great. So if you get a chance, check out that video. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So, okay, let's get to today's critique. So we're going to start with those that are here, and let's start with Dani. Let's see, we'll go through alphabetically. So Dani, this is your image. Here's your reference, right? Let's go ahead and make this a little bigger so you can see. And so Dani, tell me a little bit about this. What are you using? What was your inspiration source behind this? Did you just see this and you're like, I gotta make it, or what was the deal about it?
You know the YouTube videos of like jazz music for studying and stuff?
Yeah.
So this was the image, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. I want to do it. So I just saved the screen and I modeled everything, and I'm more or less trying to do it exactly.
Oh wow, that's
not
really
much.
Cool. That's really
and then it's going with it. And this is the first time I'm playing with fire. So
all right,
very interesting.
I'm realizing something. So the sun just got a little brighter. I'm gonna shut my curtain here real quick, just because these darker images, I want to make sure I'm actually seeing the detail in there. So there we go. Okay. So, yeah, that's way different. That's so funny. Yeah. So my first reaction is the ambient level in this one is a little bit higher. Like you can see some detail in these books. You can see, just like a little bit more definition and shaping in some of this stuff. In yours here, a lot of the stuff falls into like a deeper darkness. So I think the first thing, and it's interesting because you posted the wrong image earlier, and let's see. Oh my God, I got that. Oh, funny. Let me just change this quickly. A little bit more. So you posted this one earlier. So this is the scene without the lights. I think it
without the candle lights, yeah.
Yeah, without the candle lights. And so what I think it might be beneficial to take a look at the scene without the candle lights and without the fireplace, and try creating like a soft, subtle, ambient scenario for that room of just like maybe just what it would look like. Right? Maybe keep the fireplace on and just be like, what would this room look like with just this fireplace on? Like, so we've got some light coming down here. It would bounce around a little bit. It would fill in just a little bit more into some of these areas. Because like if you think about it, if we're not seeing anywhere outside, so the camera exposure would be lifted enough to where like the midpoints would be some of these darker values. So I think, and then once you get that kind of shaped in there well, then turn these candle lights back on, because then you'll kind of create these cool, interesting, warm pockets around an already well-lit room, I think is how I would approach something like that. In terms of the candle light themselves, I love like how you've got this subsurface going on here on the candle, and it's like creating this glow down here. I think that looks really nice. The hot spot, the fade off looks good. I'm just wondering, and after we kind of build this, let's take a look at the reference, see if there's anything here. I want to like create a little bit more, like we can push the interaction of these candles into the space a little bit more, like maybe just like a subtle rim on this, or just like kind of hitting up some of these highlights with some warm, like even if it's not like totally true that they would stretch that far, it would be nice if they influenced the room a little more. And then
yeah, that was my big question, because they're candles, especially when there's a bigger light source, it doesn't affect as much.
Yeah, for sure. So think about this. Yeah, I think that they are like if there was character, if this was like a party in this setting and there were like 5 characters in here, I think it'd be really important to like make sure that we're focusing in on the characters. But without that, with just the environment, the candles are our main interest point, right? So having them and pushing them and their influence further into the room, I think is important in order to get that, to make sure that we're feeling them and getting that entirely. In terms of the fire in the fireplace, and this is really hard, but it looks like it's kind of everywhere in the fireplace. And it's more about it being like just on these like probably logs here in the middle, and keeping it kind of centralized there, and then like really making that core like because the fire has like a core heat source, which is like the middle of the logs that glows, and then it kind of fades out from there. Where here it's a little bit darker in the middle, so try and really get that that central core value and like having that fade off. But yeah, do you guys, anybody else have any insight, anything they want to add?
I think based on the reference, there's like some moonlight coming in from the right hand side, and then there's light coming from that left hand side as well.
Light from the hallway.
Yeah, and in your first one without the additional lighting, it's actually a wider shot where you can see the window. And so it might be interesting to use both that hallway and the window to give some of that moonlight if your goal is to match the reference as much as possible.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I can do that.
And then for things like the highlight underneath the chandelier, just make sure that all the light sources are kind of, because I can kind of see it here, those are pretty neutral, and it'd be nice to kind of make sure reiterate that warmth of the candlelight kind of bouncing around would be really good.
Cool.
Great. All right. So next up, we've got Kat here, so we'll go ahead and jump over into hers. So Kat, tell me about what the updates that you made from yesterday, if you can.
Yep. There we go. Just really quick. So what I did for the one from yesterday was I changed the temperature of the one light, the fill light, so it would make it more blue, because one of the people was saying that it would look better a little cooler because that was more accurate to the reference. And then I figured out how to make the specular work, so she's got some reflections on her skin. And then I actually added a little bit more light onto the rim side of her face to try to pop that side a bit more. And that was it. And then the other one, the darker one, I did what you were talking about with the white reflective window. I kind of darkened it up a little bit. And then the one where she's in front of the stairs, I fixed the hair and worked a bit more on the lighting suggestions that you mentioned last time.
Okay, great. I'm gonna hop over here into the channel and see if I can grab your reference again, because I meant to grab that too. It's up a little further. Oh, wait for this to reload. Yeah, so because one of the things I really want to look at is the skin tones on the character, because I think it's improved, but maybe I went too far here.
I think that's too far.
Yeah, it jumped too far. There we go. You guys post too much good stuff. Let's see. Yeah, that's way too far. Oh, weird. Why has it jumped up that far? Here we go. Oh. Whoa. Okay. I'm just hitting the arrow now. That'll be easier. But because I think that one of the things that's really nice is that I just focusing in on the shirt and her torso, I think is working really well. Here we go. I think that's. Let's copy this. All right. So I think that the torso, because one of the things about her shirt is just like getting these little specular highlights and feeling like the wrinkles and the waves in it. And you're really doing that by allowing and showing that we're being hit with the key light here on the front side. I do think maybe that like it's interesting. I guess we're focusing on this brighter key light element up here. Yeah, that I was gonna say maybe go a little bit brighter with it, but I actually think that works out pretty well. But in terms of the skin tone, we've made progress, but I think we can even go a little bit further. Again, like looking at some of this specular highlight on top of his head. Let's actually like move this to kind of down here. Take it out away. So looking at across just like the top of the head here, we can see that we're getting like kind of that like blue specular highlight and rolling across. There's just a little bit more moisture in the skin, where this is just like a pretty consistent, almost like diffuse roll off from right to left. And it'll be more, I think it'll really benefit you to get some of these cooler specular highlights in there. And you can even see it like around the back of his neck here. And I think that would work out really well. The other thing to watch out for is the eyelashes. They look pretty solid. And here, just make sure the opacity is working in on that. Sorry, my daughter's getting a little tired here off to the side. Yeah. Dani, Forrest, you guys got anything?
Yeah, I wanted to say that the reference looks like, since he has a darker skin color, it's like that he's dark over a brighter background.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the character is kind of losing it. Like her skin tone is very similar to the pole that she's leaning on.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you change the color of the background, then it will help her pop out more.
Yeah, I think, yeah, that's because like especially on this side of her head, the screen left side of her head, like we're kind of losing her hair, so it might even be beneficial if we think about light reflecting off of this window and perhaps getting a little bit of a rim light on her backside there. That could be pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think it's a huge improvement, Kat.
Yeah.
Like just looking at like her arms and shoulder, like you're getting some really nice specularity, and then just for some reason, probably just the way the lighting is on the face with that really bright rim light, it just doesn't look like it's the same specularity. So I think maybe working on getting like how it looks on the arms into the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, the light on the arms is not the same light that's hitting her face. So that might be, I don't know what the difference is. The only other thing I can think of is because the rim light is so bright, it's kind of washing any specularity out of it. I don't know.
Yeah, that might be the case too. I think, and then like the other part of the image that I wanted to point out too is that your scenario isn't the easiest, right? Like you've got this reflection right behind her, a flat wall, which is always tough, but you're doing a really good job of starting to get like this idea of shaping in here with these light to dark fall off values in here. This pole that she's leaning against though, it feels pretty flat and even too. So it'd be nice if there was a little bit more on like key side, like brighter key side, darker fill side a little bit. So you can really kind of feel that, and it might even be beneficial to make this like a round pole as opposed to a square one, just so we can kind of feel that wrapping around a little bit more. Yeah, but like you're right. Yeah, like other than her, like her arm specularity on the skin looks really good, and on her shoulder and on her neck, all that stuff looks really good. It's just like a little, yeah, and I think it is just whatever's happening with that bright spot on the face there.
Okay. That's the Harlem City scene, so I'm not sure how I can change the shape of the pole, as I think it's all part of the building.
Yeah, just
I have a light blocker in front of it. I can make the light blocker a little more translucent so you get shadow. I did that a little bit to kind of, but I didn't want it to be too shadowy. Yeah. So I don't know if that would be a way to do that.
No, I think it's just a matter of like, oh, sorry, she's coming on camera.
No worries.
It's just a matter of a little bit. It's just like it's literally because like we want to see one side brighter than the other, and then it's just like this hard line down the middle. And if you want to swap it out, really all you would need to do, if it's attached to the building, just select those faces and delete them, and then add in a cylinder in there for the pole and just kind of swap it out. But if you want to try this, that's totally fine too. It's just a matter of maybe going in there and smoothing this. Another way would be just like smoothing this edge, adding some more polygons in there and just kind of smoothing it and beveling it a little bit to feel that wrap a little bit more. But really it's just a matter of making this side a little brighter and this side a little darker. Just to feel.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can probably just move the light blocker a little bit. That'll probably help. So I have a light blocker in front of that pole that's blocking out literally all the light. So I didn't want it to be too harsh of a shadow. So
yeah, I mean,
can fiddle around with that.
The other cool thing is that like you've got kind of this, like it's almost like a slash of light going across it here. Like it could kind of hit against this pole too, and kind of hit like this whole kind of angle in here. You know what I'm saying? And like and it can fall kind of fall right in there as well.
Okay. I'll tinker with it.
Yeah.
And you know me, Mike. I always like finding the difficult backgrounds to use.
No, it's true. Like I remember when I first got started, I thought the plain backgrounds were the easiest, but like the more yeah, I mean like you seem to have gone from like a very complex forest to a very simple, like you've found the two extremes which are hard. It's that nice sweet spot right in the middle where there's some geometry back there to catch light in weird ways. That's interesting. Without being too heavy. So that's the real that's the tough part there. So let's see.
Cool.
Yeah. Is there anybody else on here that, let's see, I see something else got posted. Let's see. Oh, Kay. Yeah, cool. Let's go ahead and take this. Let me make sure. Go ahead and get this saved out. Because sometimes when it's weird. Sometimes when I save it directly from Discord, or like if I save it from that window, it'll come in like super low res. So yeah. Okay, cool. Was there, before I started on K, is there anybody else here that has a shot up that I'm missing?
Do you have mine?
Oh, Vanessa, let's see. Let's see. I don't.
It's Ashley, and I posted on Sunday.
Wait, is this Ashley?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. No, I did not. Did you guys do Ashley's yesterday? Let's see.
No, I think we missed it.
That's okay.
Am I right on that?
I don't think so. Yes, that's the one.
Wait. Oh, wait.
They're incredible, and Ashley.
Oh, we did do that one.
Oh, yes. You guys.
Oh my gosh.
No. It's okay, Vanessa.
Sorry, I missed that.
No, that's right. That's right. You guys did do that yesterday. Yeah. So take a look yesterday at Forrest and Diana's notes because they were very good.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, how dare you? No,
I
I'm just
had
kidding.
to
You're
leave.
amazing.
I had to go get my daughter, and then I didn't watch the entire thing.
How dare you include your children in your work? How unprofessional of you. Who would possibly do such a thing to do that? No, that's totally fine. But yeah, take a look, and then we will, and then make your updates, and we can go from there. Great.
Thank you, and thank you, Forrest and Diana.
Of course.
All right. So Kay, this is looking like the amount of. I wish I had time because I'll do this next time you post. I'll pull up your original versus what we have now. The improvement that you've made over this in a short period of time is really astounding. The wing looks great. The chest is looking really good. The face is nice and specky. It's even like, it's funny because it's almost like a little bit on the wet side. It might even be a little bit too much, but I'm okay with that for now. Because what I would like to do before we pull that back, I do think that we could use, if you can, a little bit more of that specularity in the fur actually, because it's interesting how like how specky and like kind of moist his skin looks versus the fur, which looks very diffuse. And I'm wondering if we can't get like a specular highlight coming in around here too. So I know fur shading can be really, really tricky. So if you can't, then we'll possibly pull it back a little bit on the face. But just that contrast between what we're seeing on the fur versus the skin is a little strong. And same thing with the cloak here. I think the cloak could get a little bit of specularity in here as well. It's like by itself, it's fine. But as soon as we start putting it in the scene with these things, it starts to feel a little extra dry. So we want to make sure to get that in there as well. I do think now that we have, and you can disagree with me on this if you feel strongly about it. I'm wondering if, because we have some really nice subtle warmth in the bat now, which is like so on point. The background feels a little bit saturated to me. I'm wondering if we can bump down the saturation on the background just a little bit. And I think then I think that'll be good.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Do you have any questions for us? Like, how are you feeling about this?
Yeah, I kind of agree with the specular on the hair.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can bring it out more, and maybe on the cloak as well. Do you mean to unsaturate the blue,
Yes.
the lantern?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, sure.
Because I just think that like that, because you've like dialed in the color nicely on the bat, and it's just a little bit less saturated overall from like a color palette perspective. That having this like super saturated thing in the background is a little bit like it's like pulling us back there when really we want to stay on the character.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, okay then. Yeah, I can do that, mate. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for the critique as well.
Of course, yeah, and like just some subtleties in here, like the way that you got like a little bit of light on his toenails. His toenails are so creepy, and it's so good like when they're just kind of like pop in there a little bit. Did anybody else have anything for this? I think this is looking really good.
Thank
Is
you.
the lantern on?
Yeah, so there's a candle. I did a blue flame in it.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, cool, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that that central point could actually go a little bit brighter in there.
I tried to make it a bit brighter before, but it kind of like it draws your eye to it a bit too much.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay, let's just desaturate a little bit, because then
Okay, sure.
yeah, we can go from there.
I think it could give out a bit more of a rim light, though, since it seems very close and very big compared to Desmond.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
A little bit on the wing, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's real smart.
So on the left wing.
Yeah, over here.
On the screen right, yeah. On the screen right.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Mhm.
It's looking awesome.
Yeah. This is really, really cool stuff.
Cool. Great. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else live before I start going through the others? All right. Cool. Let's go ahead and hop into Andre's here. So this is the previous version. This is the updated one. I've said. What do you guys think about this? How are you guys feeling? I'll talk.
The reflections are really distracting. Or the stuff outside are really distracting.
Yeah, I tend to agree too. And it's like I'm trying to figure out a way that we can really kind of focus in. I think it's like I said, I know that you were going for like a park across the street, like an open space, but I really do think we need to find a way to create some shadows outside so that the brighter elements are inside. Forrest, what do you think?
Yes, I think based on the previous version of this, like it's less distracting because there's like a further draw distance, whereas in the new one it feels a bit more claustrophobic,
Mm-hmm.
and like there's like a wall, like a big orange wall or something there, versus like going back into like an ocean or something.
You know what? I take that back. Maybe this one is the newer one. I apologize. Maybe I think I got these mixed up because I feel like this is the one that we saw before, where this is like a little bit more space. I think let's yeah. Sorry. I just messed you guys up. So I think the because I don't remember seeing this open space one previously. But yeah.
I think that's the new one.
Yeah. Thank you, Diana. But yeah, I think, but I still think the same notes apply. That it might just be like it's a little distracting out there.
Yeah, it feels like I can't really tell what time of day it is, or it feels like they're in a coffee shop with no lights on, like an empty coffee shop in the middle, or in late afternoon or evening or whenever that is. Yeah, it just feels darker in the interior.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's but it's not like, but when you have that scenario, the outside is overexposed. So like if you look at my image right now on the screen, like the camera's exposing kind of for what's behind me, and I'm much darker. So like that difference between the window light coming in is so bright and I'm so dark that like if we bumped up the exposure on me to get to the point where these characters are, that like what would behind me would just be go like super white, right? Mm-hmm. And I think and that's not even outside. That is clearly my bedroom. But like that but that difference between the exterior light and the interior light is so different that I think we could like it would need to be brighter out there if that was the time of day.
I think
I
something
can't
that could
really
help.
see it too much. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I'm driving, so I can't zoom in on the picture.
Oh my God! Don't zoom in on the picture. Just go.
I think maybe if he changed the camera angle a little bit to where he could more zoom in on the characters and maybe make the background a little bit out of focus, it wouldn't be as distracting. Because it kind of seems it's just so far away. It's like you're not really sure what to look at. So I think if you maybe zoomed it in a bit more and then did a bit more where the characters are more central versus the background, because it kind of all blends right now with the color scheme.
Yeah, that's a fair point too.
Yeah, I think with the setup like this, I think we've been talking a lot about like what is out there, what are these trees, what is that wall, but actually we should probably just be really focusing on the characters when we look at this image and not really even curious what's out there.
That's true. No, that's a very, very good point. Because like, yeah, if we're questioning, the car out there or whatever, like our focus isn't in the right spot. So that's a really good point. I should be moving on. So I have about 10 minutes before I have to hop off. And by the way, I've totally bored my daughter to sleep. She just totally fell asleep in my lap here. She was like hunched over and she's just snoring on my lap. So I do want to.
Wait, I just want to do one last thing, Mike.
Oh yeah, of course, Dani.
I think since the reflection is so clear, it seems as if there are three characters, and one of them is the reflection is right on the woman. So you take that off, and then you have only two characters. It's easier to focus on.
That's true. That's a really good point. And I don't think it should be off entirely, but like if we could, but like move it, like somehow either bring this window a little closer to just shift this over just a little bit and tone it down. I think would be a big help. But you're totally right. That's a really good note too. All right, so let's move on to Donika. So we did confirm those are children in the foreground, that the scale is right. I really love the subsurface on this. I still feel like the black points aren't quite right yet. Like, I don't know what like this in here feels very lifted to me. Under the ground feels very, very dark. It's just like looking in here feels very contrasty versus up here feels very not. I think everything else is coming together really well. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that'd be good to bring up that mat to meet the black sword do the reverse, and like in that you see that in the background too with the like the podiums that are kind of set back there. I almost would be okay if it was like brought down to just pure black back there.
Yeah, we can give that a try too, because it's like it feel like if this was like a big outdoor space, I would say like it's nice to have that atmospheric back there. But we're probably interior here, with all these lights hanging. So yeah, I think maybe just allowing that to go into some darkness. But yeah, I think that'll actually help out a lot. Sorry. Mute up, Kat. I'm gonna mute you here real quick. Oh, I just clicked that.
Oh, sorry. I thought I was muted.
No, you're good. I'm so impressed you're able to do this from a car. All right. Any other notes? Jordan, Diana, Dani, you guys, anybody else? Sorry, I have a tendency to lean towards the people who are on camera, but totally don't feel like you have to. But if anybody else has any notes, let me know.
I think I read she was mentioning that the characters were floating a little bit and that she was trying to fix it.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah, so that happens a lot. I mean, either like it's just about like getting some ambient occlusion or even faking it, just to
Like a shadow.
Yeah, just a little shadow would be really helpful. Yeah, especially like like that foot right there.
Yes.
That's a great point. Thanks. Yeah, thank you. All right, I want to take a look at Emma's next. I have these out of order a little bit. Yeah, so this is the previous version. And just kind of some stills here from this. I was kind of sneaking in the room. Actually, this should be over here. All right, yeah. So this is, I think the central area can go brighter. Because like right now the brightest thing are these lights, and I know it feels a little fake, but I would like to push some of that moonlight in there to really kind of get us to focus in on that area. And he can get, or the character can actually get a little bit brighter as it moves closer to these lights. Like we can push up that influence a little bit more. So it's really about like going into this warm light to look for the wrong thing before cutting back over here. And it goes, so it's like this section is light, this section is light, and then the middle would be dark. And allow the character to kind of step through that. But like allow this light to do shaping on this side and the coolness to provide shaping on the screen right side as the character steps into this. Because like having the light be kind of frontal as he gets into this point isn't quite right. We want it to be more of a rim light with a little bit, like that's where the main light source is. And then you could possibly put in a little bit of rim light from those lights on it there too. Sorry, I just drew all over all of these. All right.
Kat, you're still
Get your...
now.
Does anybody have any other notes for this? Anybody have thoughts?
Is this the new one?
Yeah, this is the new one. This is the previous one of like I think it's like a different shot in this.
The moonlight in the old one seemed to work a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think bringing back some of that volumetric into the moonlight, into the scene in particular.
Well, we're looking at this one. This is the update on. Oh, sorry. This is the update on this one. So good, like, old and new. So I was going to take a look at that next. Sorry, but just thinking about them cutting.
Oh, it's a different window. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not great that you didn't know that initially. So I think that's a good focus on. But in terms of these two, I think like from the previous version, this updated one, this is looking a lot better. Like having this like this subtle warmth on the sides. It's like really like this. What do you guys think about this look? I think this is working out pretty well.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I think it's a nice improvement on the iteration before.
Yeah. I do feel like on the character, the value between the warmth and the moonlight is pretty even. I'm wondering if, and again, it's the same thing where there's like a lot of moonlight bounce on the front side. I wonder if we could tone that down a little bit and really kind of emphasize the rim light from these guys. So kind of, because it's like if we took away the color difference, the value would be about the same, and we want to push that value difference a little bit more. Yeah, sorry, that was a little confusing on that. Yeah, and then this, I think this one you can push up to the brighter values of this other one too, to get them to kind of feel like they're in the same space. So, all right, okay, last one. We have Wen Hui. So we've got a couple reference points here, and then the old man from the Redshift course. Oh, we've got a little pic. Oh, this is sad now. There's now another lady in there. Oh, that made it sad. But it's cool. Like you're definitely trying to add some new elements. Like he now has a brick wall, and some other stuff. I do think that overall, like if we're looking at this reference, I do think that the window light on the character can be much brighter, and much more influential around the edges and kind of in through this area. Where right now he feels totally in shadow, and I would like to see a little bit more of that light influence on the character. What do you guys have? What do you think?
Yeah, so I think somebody mentioned it too, but the image on the window or the sky dome, whatever that is, I think it's more likely that it would be like completely blown out.
Yes.
Instead of having all the shapes.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I think that's like the main thing. I love the idea with the like red couch sofa, and yeah, the picture did make it sad.
It made it sad. It made it like the opening of Up. Ugh, I can't watch that.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a way to highlight the photo a little bit more, and then I wonder if there's a good reference from Up of the empty chair, because I know they're using a reference of them together, but I know there's also some shots.
Yeah, it's definitely like the lighting and the mood is definitely different when she's not there, you know. So the reference, it would be nice to get a reference from Up without her, to try to match that mood because that's what's going on here. Unless like she's fine and we're just being sad.
No, I mean like there's a lot to read into this between the picture and the like, because the picture changes the context to me anyway a lot. Like he's probably gonna have to move now. Like there's a lot going on there once you add that. Like that's the amazing thing about what we do. You add, and maybe I'm just adding my own nonsense into it, but like you add one little element, and like I said, it changes the context entirely. So now it's like about this, this person who lost their spouse. Again, totally reading too much into this, and now they're like having to downsize or move into a retirement home or like need extra help or something, and he's like putting it off by just reading this paper. The other thing visually about it that I'm seeing is that like I like the specularity on the skin, and I think it feels a little bit strong right now. It feels a little like he's a little sweaty, but I do want to see what it looks like when we add more key light on there, because I think that might help out. Yeah, and like what Diana said too, just like framing up the image a little more so we can see more of that other chair.
Yeah, and like this might be just personal opinion, but with the chair that he's sitting on and the couch and the brick wall on the left, I feel like that area is a little bit busy in terms of all the different patterns. And I think it would be nice for the eyes to like travel to the little green cushion like on the other chair instead of sort of, I don't know, my eyes kind of went to that area with all the lines and patterns.
Yeah, for sure.
Just an idea.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely looks like there's like some uplighting on that brick wall in that bottom left corner.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I was noticing that the cake almost looks like a flat plane right now.
That cake is tricky. If you try to light it before, it's hard. It's hard to get good shaping on there. It's about like getting a little subsurface on the cherry, and then just like it's like Jordan, you were doing this. You did a really great job with the cake of like kind of wrapping the light around it too.
Yeah, I just kind of hit it with like a rim light to just get that shaping there. Pretty much what I did.
Yeah. I'm wondering too, like, this is gonna sound silly, but like, with that amount of light passing through the red curtain on the window, if it's that saturated, it might be kind of cool to play around with the idea of bleeding that light through into the space a little bit more. I don't know though. That might get complicated. But all right, guys, it is 1 o'clock. I think that was everyone for today. If we missed anyone, please let us know. Hopefully, I did not put you to sleep the way I did my daughter here, and you guys were able to stay awake and active. Guys, this was great, and I like I said, thank you again, Forrest, Diana, for putting together yesterday. I hope we can do more like this, and I'm going to get better at being more inviting more collaboration in this. But I think it's really cool. So thank you guys again for everything, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. All right, happy lighting, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.